There are four kind of people that suffer most during tax reform, and in this video we are going to check these kind of people. So in case you fall into this category, then you must find your way around it as we try to study these four people. The first kind of people that suffer most during any tax reform are the low income earners, and studies say that they are the most affected people in any tax reform, because low income earner are category of people who fall around salary workers, daily wage earners, small household, and all of that. And the reason why they suffer most is because number one, their higher VAT, that is what we call the value added tax or consumption taxes, which basically increase the cost of basic needs, the cost of transport, cost of food, basic amenities. Because the moment there is a tax reform, the first people that is affected are the low income earners, and those ones, their salary, which is basically meant for basically low, and then it will go to their what daily consumption, and then something that happens to them, that there will be no savings, because every little thing they earn goes into surviving daily life and to absorb the price increases. So people who are low income earners, they are the first category of people that suffer most in every or any tax reform. And this always results to lower standard of living and then increase in poverty pressure. So whenever there is no uh, proper tax reform, which is means to tax people more higher and higher, the first people that suffer most from that kind of tax reform are what the low income earners. So the second kind of people that suffer most in any tax reform are the small and medium scale businesses that we call SMEs. Anybody who fall into the category of small and medium scale businesses, maybe all those who are trying to set up an enterprise, those who are hustling to rise to be an entrepreneur, all those people, those local traders, those startups, firm, those family businesses of two or three people together and do something, they are the people that suffered most in any tax reform laws. And then the reason why they suffer is because every tax increase affect the operating cost. So imagine a new entrepreneur who just started his firm, trying to make hand meet, trying to cover up something. So one of the major challenges that kind of person will face is increase in operating costs, because tax often affect many other things, especially operating costs, and also sometimes it causes the legalization of their entity, what we call compliance costs, from registrations to filings to penalty. So when tax reform comes, SMEs are the second category of people that will be affected most, because when you are trying to set up a thing, set up a farm, trying to do majorly, maybe you are the only one who started it, and then you want to find one or two people to work with you. One of the challenges we're going to face when there's a tax reform is that your documentation, registrations, penalties, fillings, this and that, it will actually take a lot of your money in the process. So people who fall into this category will feel the heat of any new tax laws. And also the third kind of people that suffer most in any new tax reform is the employment, the employment, and people that have job, the job holders. And I will dwell more on this because majority of our society is formed of people who are or let me say people who are employees. So employer of labor will also come under intense pressure to keep their company afloat. So the third kind of people that suffers most is the employee and the employer. And mostly in the category it will fall on the employee, because the employer of labor will begin to find all kind of things, and they will begin to be under kind of pressure to put the company at float. And we see that the companies will begin to cut costs to survive higher taxes. So when there's a new tax reform, and majorly tax reform are targeted at majorly at companies who have already been established. So those companies, to in a bid to survive the harsh tax rules, they begin to what, cut down costs to what, to survive the higher taxes. And also they be low hiring, and they begin to lay off employees to safeguard wages and liquidity. So you will see that employer of labor begin to uh, cut down their employees, and also they will begin to hire a low kind of people. Before, if they are hiring, like let's say annually they are hiring 100 employee per annum or per year, you will see that as time goes on they begin to reduce to 20 or 30 to save the cost and to save the wages, in order to what, to balance off the ledger in what they pay as what, as salary or wages. So, and this thing always results to higher unemployment. Because the resultant of every new tax law that affect the company directly, it will result to higher unemployment, underemployment, and also low salary, with a lot of increase in job description. Because by the time the employer of labor begin to fire people, and if they remain just few people to do the work, you will see that people will be under a lot of intense pressure at work, because by that time there will be high unemployment rate, and you will see that 15, 50, 100 people will be fighting for one job, and that will cause a lot of low pay and with a lot of high job description. So by the time we find out that, by the time you are holding a job at a company, and we find out that your exact job role is being needed from 100 kind of new applicants, you will see that even if they are not paying you well, there are high chances that you want to stay to hold on to your job, even spend the time you are going to get another job. So sometimes new tax rule is not only affect the company, it will affect the employer of labor and the employees as well. So under employment will happens, and majorly thing that affects most is that people with low salary will have much more work, because by the time you fire people, imagine a company who have 100 staffs, for example, and then they fire 50 staffs to balance their ledger. We find that the job that is left undone from 50 staff will be added to the initial, the remaining 50 staffs. And sometimes the cutting number is even higher than that. Sometimes they can sack like 50, 60, 70 people. I found that the workload of 100 people will begin to fall on 30 or 40 people, and they will not increase the salary, because the same whip they used to uh, fire the other people, they will use for you as well. So in a country whereby there is no carefulness of how we do or we assign tax into law, is going to go a long way. And the last set of people that normally get attacked or affected from this new tax law are the consumers, which these fall to general public. So whenever there is a new tax law, you will see that people that will be affected mostly are the consumer, which is general public. And that's all of us generally, whether you are rich or poor or you are middle class, whatever class you belong to, we find out that you will feel the heat in one way or other. And I found out that in this last category, all of us fall into that category. And what suffers most is purchasing power. You will see that what you can use 1,000 to buy, it will cost you 3,000 to buy it. If it costs you 1,000 to buy a unit, it will cost maybe 4,000 to buy that same unit. So purchasing power will begin to what? To be affected. And then every business people and every company will transfer the tax burden to customers through their higher prices. And that's what will be happening today, especially in Nigeria. By the time we have a new tax law on board, we see that all those companies, all those businesses, they will transfer the exorbitant tax effect to their consumers, to their customers. So by the time a government pull out a tax law of about maybe 10% increase or 5% increase, we see that the increase will not really tell on the businesses, it will tell on the citizens. Because what they are buying for a thousand naira, for example, they're going to buy it for 1,500 naira or 2,000 or even more than that. Because company will not want to be on the losing side, so they will put that tax weight and the burden on their customer. And how they do it, that they begin to increase their products, they begin to increase their commodity. Got it? So they begin to increase their commodity, they begin to increase their work, they begin to increase their product. And as time goes on, it is the poor citizen that will still pay heavily for that thing. So, and then you will see that there are a lot of indirect taxes that will be attached to everything we buy, from VAT, exercise duties, consumption fee, no name it. Sometimes you will buy some commodity, you will see a lot of hidden fees, hidden charges inside it. It's only when they print the slip of your purchase for you, you need to see that there are a lot of charges, and you find that what you actually bought was not actually expensive. So it was the charges, the VAT, the consumption tax, the value added, the personal income tax, all those, the lot of tax charges that was apart from personal PIT, the personal income tax that is already attached to your income. That is a salary earner or a businessman, that was different. But now your purchasing power, what you bought, is now being attached to one tax or the other. So you find that at the long run, everything still goes down to every citizen. And also the result is that the result always end in inflation, reduced consumption, because the first that will happen is that inflation will arise. So what people are buying for 1,000 naira, for example, or $1,000, for example, will get to increase to 2,000. That's inflation. And also it will lead to reduced consumption. So what people can freely buy at a go, you will see that the consumption level will go down because people will not be able to afford it. And with a country like Nigeria, with higher extreme poverty rate, you will see that our consumption level will reduce, because by the time people are no longer uh, able to afford that commodity or certain product again, they will leave it, and so that they will go for maybe lower product of that same kind, or they abandon the product forever. So it happens a lot, because we that's why in a country like Nigeria, you will see that we live in a sachet economy, whereby most of our big products have to go a long way to be doing their product in sachet or in small package, so that a normal citizen of Nigeria will be able to afford their product. It's not because they wanted to, so it's because of uh, they are trying to uh, be economical friendly with citizens, and also they're trying to balance their ledger with the new tax rule that is affecting everyone. Also, economic slowdown. Yes, economic slowdown, that is normal, because whenever there is a high tax rate, high tax law, the economy will slow down a little, and then also there will be a reduction in purchasing power. Yeah, purchasing power. So if I can use 1,000 naira to buy four things, you find that 1,000 naira will be able to buy more than two or one thing. So the purchasing power will reduce. So we find out that all of us are in this category in one way or the other. And then who suffer least? The people that suffer least in a very harsh tax reform are the high income earners, because they can absorb costs or use tax planning. So people that are income high income earners, they can find a way to absorb their costs, and they can find a way to use tax planning. They can find a way around it. And also large companies too, they don't really suffer high tax high tax rule. They don't really suffer for it because they know how to pass the cost to consumer and to optimize their tax. So large companies, they just transfer the burden to citizens. They don't really feel the heat, as it were. They don't really feel it. They just find a way to increase their price of their products and services, and then they pass the burden down to layman citizen. And also governments don't really feel it. You know, for them, new tax rule is new increased revenue for them. Is a new increase in revenue for them. It's a way of making more money. So government don't really feel anything about tax. And then you see that the people that feel it most are the poorest and the small people, the low income people, because the burden will be shifted downward to every consumer and every mid or low income earners in society. So when we have a harsh uh, tax rule, the people that suffer most for it are, number one, let me for recap, is the low income earners, and number two is the small and medium scale business owners, and also the employer of labor. They also feel it, they are affected, and also the general public, who are the consumers, because as you go out, you buy something, you buy fuel, you buy toothpaste, you buy salt, you buy soap, you buy water if possible, uh, you get to the transport, all those things, they are attached, they are tax that are attached to them, and they are tax that are hidden as like hidden charges inside them. So these are the four people that really feel the burden. So what I would just say as a recommendation to end this video is that if you fall into one of these category or two, what I will just encourage you to do is that be strong and also find a way to beat down costs and unnecessary pressure, and also find a way to invest more. In fact, use your savings to invest more. So just go to this page, more of financial tips, more of investment tips, more of accurate financial mindset will be coming up on this channel once and again every week. So just go to this channel, and we are going to learn a lot on how to live above tax, and then how to mitigate and balance up your earnings. Even if you fall into the low income earner category, there's a way to beat the tax, and there's a way to manage your income and your spending in order to stay afloat in any rigid tax law. I hope this video make you do well to like, subscribe and share, and click this channel for more updates like this. Thank you. God bless you.